Hello and welcome to the. God damn it! I forgot what I was gonna say. I was so excited and then fucking forgot it. Okay. Okay, here we go. Hello and welcome to the Console Xplosion podcast. I am your host, the Philosopher, and this is a spoiler cast. We are going to talk about Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. I am very pumped about this topic. I saw the movie very recently and I loved it, but I did have to tear it apart as a Dragon Ball Z fan and as a huge nerd. So I had Antonio come and join me. He did a spoiler-free review that you guys can check out. I have that in the show notes, so you can definitely check that out if you want a spoiler-free review of the movie. But if you don't care about spoilers, if you just want to talk about Dragon Ball Z, you want to hear our thoughts, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show because we really dig deep into it. We also had Tyler, the video game hunter, and Jared, the CEO of the ConsoleXplosion.com, join us, and they haven't seen the movie. They don't watch Dragon Ball Z too much, so we get their perspective as well. They asked some really good questions, and we just had a really overall fun time. So guys, this one's a really fun one. I love the topic, so enjoy the show. This is Dragon Ball Z night. We're going to talk about the new movie that came out, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. We're going to talk about the TV show Dragon Ball Z Super, and then we might even talk about a little bit of the last movie, Battle of the Gods. But of course, I have my guest with me. I have Antonio from Gokado Retro Reviews, who actually did a video on this, and I definitely suggest you guys check it out if you want a spoiler-free review of this movie that just came out. Definitely check it out. But how's it going?
Hello. I'm doing fine, man. Just excited to talk about it.
Yes.
Spoil it a lot. I don't want to spoil it.
Yes, definitely. This is a spoiler, not a spoiler-free version of the show. So definitely, if you haven't seen the show yet and you don't want any spoilers, watch the movie first, then come back and see what you guys think, and definitely share your opinions with us. See what if you agree, if you disagree, definitely share it. Next, we have Jared, the CEO of the ConsoleXplosion.com. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Hello, hello.
And then last but not least, we have Tyler, the video game hunter. Hello, sir.
Hi.
So, Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F. Your initial thoughts on Resurrection F. Let's start with that. What did you think, Antonio? Because I know you saw the movie.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun movie, but overall, several issues I had with it, and also I didn't think it was as strong as the last movie, Battle of the Gods.
Okay. Why did you think that?
Well, first of all, I thought the stakes in the movie weren't as high, and overall, it seemed more like a side story than a movie, than an actual plot from the whole series. So, and actually, that's what it is, pretty much. This movie, it's like a sidestep story than part again of the movie. Now, Battle of the Gods introducing the new characters and the Varys, the Lord of Destruction, which it's gonna have a way bigger impact in the story than
in the TV show.
Yeah, than Frieza itself. And some issues that I had with it that I didn't have with Battle of the Gods.
Yeah, and I also would like to point out this is the second movie that's actual official canon to the TV show. So it's not like an alternate what-if thing. This is actually canon to the TV show that's coming out right now with Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z Super. So what's happening in these movies affect the TV show, supposedly.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, in this movie, whatever it is there to affect the show is going to be minimal because there isn't much. I mean, there's some things that happen there that I guess are going to be part of canon, but overall, I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah. It was pretty much a direct continuation from Battle of the Gods. It actually tied into it rather clever, in a rather clever manner. Basically, in Battle of the Gods, if I can remember correctly, what is that guy's name? Is it Pilaf? Is it Emperor Pilaf?
Yeah, Pilaf, yeah. Emperor Pilaf, yeah.
he found the Dragon Balls in the original one, or in Battle of the Gods, but in this one, Sorbet, who's now leading the I don't know what you'd call them, but like the Frieza Corps or whatever, he comes and swipes the Dragon Balls essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, in the original, though, well, not the original, Battle of the Gods, he doesn't find the Dragon Balls. They were part of the presence,
Party.
or of the I guess the winning
of the
things,
tournament.
the
tournament.
or the bingo tournament. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not like he finds them. It's just he got it from there.
Yeah, pretty much dumb luck, because he gets rescued or whatever.
Well, he has the Dragon Raider. Raider.
The Dragon Raider.
Yeah, radar. Hard to pronounce some words sometimes.
Yeah.
Are you saying radar?
Yeah, radar.
Yeah, so he has that, and then how does Sorbet wind up finding these Dragon Balls again?
He has some sort of radar for those as well.
Right.
He?
I don't know how he came across that, though, because I thought Bulma was the only one that had that technology.
Man, yeah, no, I mean, we're going to talk about that then. We're going to have to...
That's a deep hole.
Yeah, no.
Continuity error.
No. It's just like in the movie Independence Day. How did they beat them? They created a freaking virus to the computers. How can they do that?
Technology and America.
Just because they can, That's the same thing pretty much there.
Yeah.
Well, they are pretty advanced though, technology-wise. So let's leave it in a way that they can do that for some reason. Yeah.
They can detect our power levels. They can probably detect some mythical Dragon Balls that summon.
They have the technology.
Right.
And remember, not only that, but they've encountered them before, right? With the whole Frieza saga.
Mm-hmm.
They already know how to look for them. Well, they were looking for in the saga. They looked for the guys who had bigger, fighting power, and that's how they found them. But let's say that they learned from that, and they were able to create some sort of radar for that. So.
Right. So he gets summoned by the Dragon Balls, backed by Sorbet, and so now he's alive and wants to get revenge on Goku. And I've actually seen a lot of people who agree with you on this viewpoint of how he gets stronger was rather clever.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of disagree, but I want you to kind of reiterate why you thought that Frieza, like the way he got stronger and like got to the level of current Goku. Why did you think that was clever?
Well, because you gotta remember, he without any training at all, he already was the strongest being when Goku faced him, right? He was the strongest being in the universe at that point, without no training at all. So it's my belief that if he was to train, and that's pretty clever again in the movie, the way he did it. Well, he thought about that and say, well, I never trained. Let's do it. And since he already had that natural, but yeah, he was a prodigy pretty much, right? So training a little bit should be exponentially more powerful than when you're not, I believe. So I think that made sense. I'm not sure if only 3 months made sense.
Yeah.
If that's what you were asking. I'm not exactly sure. We don't know exactly how much time it passed anyways. We can have some sort of notion, but at the end of the day, 3 months might be a little hesitant. And they actually addressed that in the movie, if you remember.
Yeah.
So I think it makes sense. I think I like that idea. I like how they explain it, because and I was very curious at first, trying to understand. Well, I mean, Frieza, he was strong when he was Hisaga, but now surely even Krillin could have been his. I don't know if it's Krillin, but the power level that he had was very low compared to where everyone is at this point. So I was curious to see how they were going to address that. So I liked it. I like the way they did it.
Yeah. I'm torn because of that very reason of the 3 months, and part of me thinks it was rather clever to actually say that, but another part of me feels like it was an easy cop out. But I don't know what else they would have done. But they only show him training for a brief moment, and it pretty much looks like anyone trying to power up. And that was, I think, what annoyed me. I didn't see what he did the whole entire 3 months, but there's nobody to challenge him. I don't know if they had any technology to like a extra gravity or anything like that. It was just so many unanswered questions. I would have liked to know how he got so strong, not just, oh, he trained. You know, when they last let them off, he was just like, he had a purple aura around him and he was just, you know, yelling. And I'm like, well, what the hell? That doesn't really tell me much. But I do think it is very clever as well, because there's a lot of characters and a lot of people, like even myself, I catch on to things really quickly, but never practiced. But then when I started to practice and things, you know, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can be 10 times better. I didn't know that. Like, holy hell. So I think it was very clever. I just wish they had gone into a bit more detail. Like they went into more detail on the comic relief part of it, but when it came to the training on Frieza's side, they didn't really show too much. Even Vegeta and Goku, they showed him training with Weiss.
Yeah. Well, you know, in a movie you only have that much time, and also I don't think well, you could probably make some sort of montage, I guess, like
yeah, I like montages.
You know, could show them both training side by side, you know, Goku and Frieza. I guess that could have been cool.
Yeah. I'm a Rocky fan, so I love
you could do some sort of Rocky kind of montage. But at the end of the day, they didn't show that. I agree with what you're saying, powering up and then cut to whatever. But it's led to your imagination, right? It's led to your imagination to believe, to see, to just go ahead and say, well, he trained really hard. But talking about the 3-month period, that's addressing the movie at the end where he couldn't sustain his ultimate Golden Frieza form. Because of that very same fact that it was very fast, right? So you know, I like that. I like both ideas, right? Say that way they addressed my first concern on how he would get stronger, and also the second, not once I knew that, you know, why was that in so little time, you know, he was able to get that strong, but at the end of the day, he actually didn't. He was not able to sustain that. So so that's good. I like.
Very true.
Yeah,
that is a very great point. I didn't think about that actually, and his lack of length and training did show in the fact that, you know, it was very. I liked how I like how he lost. I don't like what happened, the twist at the end, but I do like the fact that his arrogance and his lack of training was pretty much his downfall. And it was really interesting because Goku wasn't the person that defeated him for the most part. It was Frieza himself. He didn't understand his limitations, and so he went out arrogantly and went to go fight Goku and defeat him and destroy Earth. But he wound up running out of gas essentially because he didn't do his homework. Yeah, I thought that was really good. And go ahead.
And that's part of his personality. So that I like, you know, it's not out of character. So that's good. I mean, I liked the way he was addressed in the whole movie. I like that. Yeah. Yeah,
I definitely agree. And they even joked about it in a way. His new form is like, we'll just call it Golden Frieza. You know, I felt like it was very, I don't know if satirical is the right word, but this movie very much made fun of itself, but not
self-aware. Self-aware is the word.
Yes. And in that sense, it was as long as you don't take the movie super serious, because this series is really, really old, you know, and it knows how silly and over the top it is now. And most of us are all adults, so we're a little bit more, what's the word? I guess negative, jaded, yeah. And so we kind of forget how lighthearted Dragon Ball Z can be at times.
That should be, actually, I think
right.
I think Dragon Ball is at its best when it's very self-aware and silly, I believe.
And so, to stay on topic with Frieza, we talked about it a little bit, but I didn't want to go too much into detail. But you were talking about the Frieza saga and like why that one is so good. Like, why do you like it? Why do you think so many other people like it as well?
Well, hang on. I want to kind of interject here a little bit. See, for me, I haven't seen the movie, Because honestly, for me, I've watched the Frieza saga, and I thought it was good. But then when they introduced Trunks, who defeated Frieza like this, and defeated his father, who's supposed to be 10 times more powerful, why would you even bother making a movie around him?
Yeah, well, it is because the way they explain it is because Frieza is actually the one of the more popular of the villains in the Dragon Ball Z universe.
But yet he died like that.
Yeah, well, that's how it.
He's weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why would you make a movie about him again? If he got defeated so easily.
Yeah, well, I was curious about that. As I said, I was curious about that. At the end of the day, they explained.
I kind of want to interject real quick and sort of answer that, or answer the Trunks thing. One, I don't know if you're aware or not, but Trunks was from the future. He was from 7 years in the future. And I know he did die like that from a sword, but I think they did that to show how strong in 7 years these Saiyans have become. Because this is the son of Vegeta and Bulma. And
spoiler, folks, spoiler, if you didn't know that.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
This whole podcast is spoilers anyway.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to put it on the image to let people know. But
no, I'm joking about the whole Trunks being Vegeta and Bulma's.
But no, think about it, though. Vegeta and Goku and all the Z fighters had this huge fight with Frieza, and they couldn't defeat him. People died. Krillin got killed, and so on.
Krillin always dies.
A whole planet gets destroyed. But all of a sudden, you go back to Earth, and you know that Goku was supposed to be the strongest person, but out of nowhere, this Super Saiyan that you don't know too much about kills at the time, the super villain of the show in the blink of an eye. I think not so much to show how weak Frieza is, it's more to show how strong these Saiyans have become in 7 years. And then, I want Antonio to answer about the Frieza saga itself before I go into my opinions on it. Yeah. But I definitely think it was more so not to kind of downplay Frieza, but to upplay how strong Trunks is compared to how strong all the Saiyans are now, because no one was stronger than future Trunks at the time. I think future Trunks would have been able to easily kill Goku, who was at the time the strongest of the Z Warriors in that show. And then also, I don't think King Cold is actually stronger than Frieza. In the manga, they talk about how the only person that's ever been able to, I think he said that he fought his parents, and they were the only ones that were able to have him, at the end of the fight, have him wipe the dust off of his shoulders. And so they don't really talk about who was stronger, but the fact that all he had to do was he didn't have any bruises or broken bones. He was wiping dust off of himself at the end of a fight with his father. I think that goes to say that you can probably assume that Frieza is actually stronger than his parents, who were also ridiculously strong for their race, because not all of his race are actually that strong or evil or anything like that. You don't get this from the TV show. You get it from the manga and other lore. But yeah, they're not all that strong. They're not evil. It's just Frieza's parents, and because both his mom and dad are so strong, I guess they created a prodigy, which is why he never had to train in the first place. And knowing all that as well, you add that into the factor of how strong he is and how easily he was defeated by Trunks. Again, is just holy hell, this guy is strong as shit, But sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent there a little bit, but I just really wanted to express how that whole scenario, from a different point of view, rather than just Frieza's a piece of shit now.
Yeah. Which he is at the end of the day, at the time that the movie happened, anyways. But again, that was addressed on the movie as well. That and I was curious about exactly what you're saying there, Jared. I was curious to see, why would you bring this guy up? I mean, this guy. Anyone again, even Krillin could have kicked his ass. I'm not sure Krillin again, but to me that was I was curious about it. So they addressed that, I think.
Yeah, I think that was a really good question, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it just made me wonder, right? Someone who's as powerful as he was in the Frieza saga gets knocked off so quickly, right? Yeah. And then is okay, so here you go.
I still think he would have lost to Goku anyway, though, to be honest.
But I guess there's a lot of Frieza and King Cold that's not within the Trunks saga, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he comes back. Like there's things like in the Imperfect Cell saga and the Great Saiyaman saga and the Kid Buu saga. There's things flashbacks with them, right?
Right. I mean, he has his own like whole like the future Trunks. What is it? The history of Trunks. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was just it was just again, I just wanted to know.
Yeah, definitely.
Understand.
But so what were you gonna say about the Frieza saga in general?
Yeah, I think it's a great saga. It's since the beginning, right? You got to remember, this is the first time they move out of Earth, right? And that was kind of exciting to see on the show when they uncovered the whole idea of where Piccolo was, right? Was from, and they had their own planet, and they had a spaceship, and they were gonna, fly their way into space into that planet. That whole part was actually very. I don't want to say exciting. It was interesting, right? Very interesting to see happen. That's actually the only time where the conflict was away from Earth on the main series. All of the other ones were on Earth, right? Vegeta saga, Raditz, the androids, and Buu. They were all on Earth. This one was in a different planet, and the whole thing was very exciting. Going all the way up there, everyone was very separate, right? That made the whole saga as well very tense because. The strongest fighters were very separate because Goku was flying on a separate spaceship. He was training, and then Vegeta was going in a different way as well. And then you have Frieza, you have his minions, all of them in different places trying to get these Dragon Balls. And again, it seemed to me that in that saga, the power force difference was way bigger than all the other ones in terms of the bad guys versus the good ones, right? If Krillin or Gohan were caught or Bulma, it was game over, right? They couldn't fight anyone up there. And those are the only ones in that rock trying to get the Dragon Balls. And I think that's very tense. So the whole idea of going to another planet, a very tense saga where you wanted to see what was going on in the next one because, again, the stakes were really, really high. Mm-hmm. And then, Frieza was very arrogant, and his way to speak as well was like very mannered when he spoke, right? And that whole thing was very good. And then the first time you see the Super Saiyajin, right, as well. That's in that saga. So I think that's part of the reasons of why I think this is, in my opinion, the best saga of Dragon Ball Z, and I think that's why it's very popular.
Yeah.
I think too burnt out on him.
What's that?
What was that?
I was saying I was too burnt out doing that saga. Because he kept replaying that saga over and over and over again on Toonami a long time ago, and I never got the chance to see the Android saga.
Yeah, they did play it over a lot. I will say
that's why I don't like it.
Yeah, that's less Dragon Ball Z's fault. More
that's not Dragon Ball Z fault.
It is Dragon Ball Z. You're supposed to make it entertaining over and over and over again. They couldn't pull it off, so I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows where you can't watch it a bunch of times. It's just like because they stretch out things, but that anticipation works really well the first time, but after that it's not as well. But to go back to what you were saying, I definitely agree with you. It was a very pivotal series for Dragon Ball Z because you had this new Saiyan, because at the time Goku and Gohan were like the only Saiyans and Gohan was a half Saiyan, but now you have in the Z Warriors. But now you have Vegeta, who's like this weird anti-hero character that people started to really like, and he kind of came into himself as well during that season. He kind of went against his his master. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Wait,
More about
what
him.
was his master?
Frieza.
Okay.
He worked for Frieza because he pretty much ran the planet Vegeta as well, because Vegeta was a prince of the planet Vegeta, and but then he blew that up and so on and so forth. But yeah, he came into himself, and then the whole Super Saiyan thing was a very big deal. That was like the transformation that they kind of hinted at for a while, but they didn't really talk about it. And that's kind of why he was hunting down the Saiyans in the first place, because Frieza knew why. Frieza knew that Saiyans were really, really strong, and if you watch the Bardock movie, you kind of see that as well.
Yeah.
Goku's dad is Bardock, and you get to see Frieza before it's blown up, the planet Frieza before it's blown up.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I think someone told me that long time ago Saiyans were the weakest creature out there. They just like to boast a lot. They think they're strong, but they're really not.
Well, the thing is that no, it's not that the Saiyans. Saiyajin itself is jin at the end of any Japanese word. It denotates your place from, right? So Nihon Jin, it's Japanese, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's true that the Saiyajins, the first ones, I think they were scientists actually.
Okay.
So it's not because they're the same race. They're only because they're from that planet. So the Saiyajins that we know now were actually very strong all the way since the beginning, and they actually killed all the scientists, the original Saiyajins, right? So he's right. I'm not sure if they are the weakest. They were pretty weak, of course. I'm not sure that they're weakest, but again, it's not their race. It's just where they're from.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know about the weak part because maybe at some point, but I don't know about. I haven't heard that before. So
it's what someone has told me that back then they were considered the weakest race, and they just boast a lot saying they were.
Right.
No, again, there were the scientists that were originally from that planet were weak in a sense of fighting power. But again, the other Saiyajins that we know now to be the Saiyajins were the kind of the wild ones that were a different race from the scientists.
Yeah, they're very savage.
Okay, at what point do they mention the scientists, really?
I don't recall if it's a movie or in the series itself. I don't recall, but they do that.
I do recall someone saying, in the English version, I'm saying that because that's what I've been told, that Goku's dad was a scientist.
No.
I'm not sure about that, no.
Okay,
no,
so
Goku's
a no-no?
dad. Yeah, that's a no. There's a movie based off of Goku called, I think, what is it, The Son of Bardock? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And Bardock was actually a warrior. Him and his wife were both warriors. And it pretty much imagine Superman, but instead of scientists, his parents were warriors. And they actually worked for Frieza at the time, I believe. Frieza was like the overlord, and they actually went out and demolished planets. That was when they could turn into the whole gorilla giant ape thing. I think they could do that at will. I don't think it had to be during a full moon. Could be wrong, so don't quote me on that.
No, well, the thing is that they create their own artificial moon.
Yes, that's okay. There you go.
That's what they do. It's not that they could do it on a call, just powering up. They have to create that first.
Right. Okay. But yeah, and that's the movie where you get to see the planet Vegeta get blown up, and at the very last second they actually send off Goku, and it winds up landing on Earth, and you see Son Gohan. But yeah, his parents were not scientists. They were warriors, and they weren't. I don't want to say they were strong, but they were very spirited fighters.
Yeah, in the whole scheme of things, they were actually low-level warriors. Yeah.
Okay.
But someone's feeding you false information.
Yeah.
We'll try to set you right. It's okay.
Okay.
So I saw this on someone's post, and I thought it was really funny. But the first scene is Frieza, and he's in his hell. And I gotta say, like, someone said it's very funny. It was like the dark corner of Equestria, is how they put it. It cracked me up because you see Vegeta like wrapped up in this weird cocoon, and all you can see is his face, and it's all cut up like when he was robotic and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he's in a tree, and there's like these weird animals circling around him and dancing, and it looks all whimsical and whatnot. He just looks super pissed off, and
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, I think all the other ones, I think there were characters from Akira Toriyama, I think Doctor Slump series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of nods at different.
Yeah.
I couldn't catch them all. I know I saw a few from different reviews, but there were a lot of different. Because Akira Toriyama does do comedy, like comedic animes as well, so he had a lot of that in here. And then I believe you were the one that talked about his ringtone, Krillin's ringtone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
One Piece.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I love different Easter eggs like that, and it's really cool to see that in there.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I like that a lot. And you talking about the first scene on Frieza's hell, that's another thing, right? And one thing that I think was better than Battle of the Gods was the comedy. I think this was a much more comedic movie, much better, well done, versus Battle of the Gods. Battle of the Gods was a little bit more serious. It had comedic parts, of course, but not as funny as this one. I didn't think.
Yeah. And speaking of which of the two movies, which one would you say is better in your opinion, and why?
Battle of the Gods. Again, the stakes, what is going to affect at the end, anyways, it's going to be much more heavy. What's on Battle of the Gods?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was again. I didn't have the problems that I had at the ending on this one.
Mm-hmm.
This one, the way it ends, is just, to me, was just not the way you want to end anything. The first part where the way Goku was defeated, it was stupid in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, Sorbet, he shot something from his ring and he pretty much killed Goku.
Yeah.
That was no explanation on how that could happen. I mean, this guy was receiving hits from Golden Frieza like nothing. This guy comes along with not even
a pea shooter.
Yeah, a pew, and then he dies pretty much.
Yeah, I thought that was really ridiculous.
That was stupid. Yeah, and then they introduced the idea of they can time travel at the end to fix everything. That, to me, just, oh man, when I know that this is part of Dragon Ball's
official canon.
Yeah, that happens a lot in Dragon Ball, where they create this ex machina thing where, okay, this happened and we can fix it with whatever, they can do whatever they want in this universe. And them adding this, Frieza destroys Earth, and then Whis comes along and say, hey, oh yeah, I can turn back time, guys.
Yeah.
3 minutes. I don't recall how much he could do it for.
30 minutes.
30 minutes, and then there you go. It's fixed. Oh, man. Those two things soured the movie for me. And those things did not happen in Battle of the Gods. That's why I do like Battle of the Gods more.
Yeah, and I'm going to add on to that in just a second, but I do want to point out, it's something that I noticed really early on, and I'm kind of upset that I did, but there was a lot of foreshadowing during the training sequence with Vegeta, Whis, and Goku, where he pretty much talks about what's going to happen at the end of the movie. He talks about how he can time travel 30 minutes in the future, so I knew I was going to see that. I knew it kind of was going to be some sort of saving factor, which kind of ruined the ending for me. He talks about how Goku is like pretty much easily distracted. He's like a kid. He's really dumb, and he's really easily distracted. He also talks about how Vegeta is always pretty much second fiddle. He always loses to Goku no matter how much he wants to be the best.
Because he thinks way too much.
Yeah. And then he also talks about how if they work together, they'd probably be pretty much unstoppable. Not in those words, but I mean, we've seen it firsthand with Gogeta and Vegito, Gogeta and Vegeto.
Yeah. To me, Gokado makes more sense than Vegeto. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gokado, I think it's make better, but anyways.
But yeah, that's pretty much what happens. Is they pretty much reiterate that at the end of the show. You see Goku die because he gets arrogant. He just stands there while he has Frieza pretty much defeated in a sense. But he's like, oh, I don't want to defeat you. Ha ha. I hope he gets stronger. Let's fight again. Oh, I'm gonna get shot in the chest. Cool.
Yeah.
And then they pretty much Frieza winds up destroying the planet. And I already knew because they had talked about Weiss rewinding time. I knew that was going to happen. So Frieza destroys the planet, but because Weiss and Barris love the food on Earth too much, they save the planet. Because they're the gods of destruction. So that doesn't make sense because of their personality, but what their job is to do. It's kind of conflicting, but their personality kind of overrode what their job was supposed to do. So they return the planet, and then you get to see Vegeta actually have the redeeming character, and he pretty much, he gets to have, he doesn't kill Frieza, but he pretty much gets the last licks on him, and he defeats Vegeta to the point to where he has to destroy the planet because he has his stupid temper tantrum. So you get to see the whole entire span of what Weiss talks about, except for Vegeta and Goku combining forces, which I think will tie into the TV show down the line, because we already know what's official canon, and pretty much everything else that Weiss has said has come to fruition in the movie. So I think it's safe to say that they're also going to, at some point, either have Gogeta. I don't think the earring things exist anymore, and also the stronger version was when they did the fusion dance, which they combine and they become one. With the whole, they can both also do the Super Saiyan God mode, the blue-haired mode. So. Yeah,
they have to be the same level to be able to combine anyways.
Right. So I think it's really safe to say that we're going to see this in the TV show at some point.
So hang on. So you're telling me, because again, I never watched the movie. Mm-hmm. You're telling me that they copped out like in Superman, where he can turn the Earth around and change time?
Yes, Pretty much.
That's gay.
Yeah, very, very gay.
So the only redeeming factor of this would be is when they turn back time, did the Cher song pop in?
No. I mean, you can add that in there if you want.
Oh, I'm so gonna do that.
I think you should. But I mean, he doesn't circle around the planet. Is this and what I was gonna add on as well is that Weiss rewinds time, and that character is very interesting. I don't remember you mentioning it in your TV show, but pretty much the butler to Barris, the cat god, he's actually right now
licking himself, like what cats do.
No, not Barris.
Gross thing when they stick their leg out and they're like.
No, he's like the strongest.
How can you do that?
Yeah, Weiss is the strongest in the saga right now. So what I was gonna say is that I think that even though I think the ending was really stupid where they rewound time, I think they really wanted to show how strong this character is, because we all know that Barris beat the crap out of Goku. He can't beat him right now, but if you put Goku and Barris on a scale, Goku would be like a 5, Barris would be a 10, and then Weiss is like a 15, who's pretty much the butler, but he's also the trainer to Barris. And what we also know is that they aren't the only gods in the universe, or they're like other universes as well. So I think it's also pretty safe to say that we're going to see some other gods, and they're probably going to be stronger than Weiss.
Well, we've already seen them in the trailers, right? We've already seen the fat version of the of Varys, right? Yes, in the trailers we've seen the guy in another Whis, but in a female form, which it all, if you were to ask me, it makes only sense that they are the gods of destruction from another universe,
parallel universe.
Yeah,
universe. Yeah. And I think that's really going to. I really think this movie was more of a setup to get us excited for the TV show. I think that's really what this movie was about, because it wasn't bad. There was the fighting was phenomenal. Like I want to throw that out there. I love the fight scenes. That was great. There was this new character they introduced. I can't remember his name, but he was some sort of like galactic patrolman. But he was very, very
Yako,
yeah. He was very funny, but his fight scenes were also very great.
Yeah, he's actually from another manga from Akira Toriyama. So it's not new character per se. It's a new character for the Dragon Ball universe, but not a new character.
Right. Yeah, and to kind of keep going with the TV show, I know you've seen there's been 4 episodes that I've seen. I don't know if the 5th one is out yet, but
I've seen only 4 as well. Yeah.
Okay. What? So what do you think of the show so far?
Well, the first thing I am not sure about is how they are setting up the same events from the movie, the Battle of the Gods, yet, but differently though. It's weird. It seems to tend to go in the same direction at the end of on how they are setting everything up from the movies, but from some reason they are, the way they meet Beerus the Destroyer and the way the whole events that happened, even Bulma's party, it's not on Capsule Corporation, it's in a boat. In a boat. I mean, I'm not exactly sure why I don't really care that much, but it's weird to me that they changed those events.
Yeah. So to kind of go on with what he's saying, the 4 episodes so far have pretty much been like the first half of the movie Battle of the Gods, but kind of redone in a way.
Yeah.
Bulma still has her party, but it's on a boat, like a big yacht instead. But she still has the whole the Trunks and Goten scene where they're looking through all the gifts and they see the Dragon Ball and the giant diamond in the castle and stuff. That's all still pretty much the same. It's like an extended version of the movie. It's interesting, but it makes me wish I hadn't even seen the movie because it's just like it's almost boring to me because I know what's going to happen. Well, I say I do, but so far it's been very similar, and it's not disappointing, but it's just like I want to hurry up and get through that so I can get to something new.
Yeah,
I
agree with that. But one thing I'm very excited about so far, it's the way they are setting or using the way they are telling the story. I think it's going back to the roots a little bit of what the original Dragon Ball was, with a lot of comedic relief, and I think it's for the better. Being too serious, I think. I mean, it can only get you so far. I think. So when they go, Vegeta, Bulma, and Trunks, they go out to the to shopping and whatnot. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
The whole thing. So even though it was filler, it was a good filler.
Well, I wouldn't consider it filler because we have to remember there's a whole new generation watching this TV show now. They have to have a reason to like these characters. They're pretty much, they have a whole new life. Vegeta's not this prince anymore. He's not part of the whole Frieza Corporation. So they have to reintroduce these characters in their own way.
I understand that, but I think Dragon Ball Super it's not friendly to a newcomer at all.
No, I think
you have to know a lot of Dragon Ball already. If not, you're gonna be like, okay, I don't know what's going on at all.
Right.
I can understand what you're saying. In the same vein, I don't think that's done to newcomers. I don't think it's the newcomer friendly series at all. I mean, you can look at it and see it because you already know it, but grab a new guy who's never seen Dragon Ball Z at all. He's gonna ask a lot of questions. I think.
Yeah, I think by far the most confusing thing is Majin Buu.
I know.
Well, in the end of Dragon Ball Z, Majin Buu pretty much gets reincarnated as Oob, which is like this Middle Eastern looking dude with a mohawk. Yeah. But I'm guessing that he doesn't exist anymore, and that now Majin Buu and everything that took place during that event, nobody remembers except for the Z Warriors. But Majin Buu is still alive, and Hercule is pretty much his servant, is what it seems like.
Yeah, because of I think he wants to have him around. If any problems were to happen, he would help out, because again he has the reputation of being the savior of humanity when of course he's not done anything.
Hercule.
But but I agree. Which in my version, Spanish version, is Mr. Satan.
Yeah, Satan.
Yeah, Mr. Satan is for us.
Yeah.
So no, I agree. I agree. The Boo part that I'm confused a little bit as well for that, because that version of Boo, from what I understand, that disappeared, and we only had the Middle Eastern Mohawk kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's really weird because it's discrediting, or it's pretty much saying that didn't happen. Because also, just so you guys know, in Dragon Ball Z Super, Dragon Ball GT doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Of course.
Never happened.
He never did.
Right. But it's also, I guess, cutting off the last episode of Dragon Ball Z, which is where Oob and the whole tournament happens, and that's like one of the funniest episodes to me, because you get to see Goku try to antagonize this character.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was really funny. That's one of the most memorable episodes to me, and it kind of sucks that it doesn't exist anymore. But I'm curious to see where they're going to go with this, because if they're going to the trouble of bringing Boo back, then he must play a part in the TV show at some point. I'm wondering if he's going to have his transformations again, if maybe he absorbs a god, because it could go so many different ways with this character, because Boo is very much a wild card. He does whatever he wants to do. Mm-hmm. He very much has the personality now, and if he gets the opportunity to eat a god, like maybe turn him into candy for eating one of his food, which I see him and Barris having a fight or something at some point, or a version of Barris if they all love food. I just see that happening, and then him getting the power of one of the gods and then just going apeshit. So I don't know if they'd go that route, because it does seem kind of predictable. Maybe an alternate universe version or something, I don't know. But it's really weird. It's really up in the air right now. I just hope they don't go as safe in the TV show as they do with that movie Resurrection F.
Yeah.
So, throwing out another question, because again, don't know this stuff. Where's the pig from Dragon Ball?
He turned to a ham.
Oolong?
He's there. He's still there.
Where? I don't see him in Dragon Ball Z.
He was in the movie Battle of the Gods.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was roasted.
There is a version of Battle of the Gods that has more footage, and there's a part where he actually, he doesn't fight Lord Beerus, but they do Yankenpon or a version of that, right? Where he says, "Well, if you win, you get to save the planet." And supposedly he was doing that because he's a pig, right? So he would only have a way to do only the scissors because of how pigs have their feet, right?
Uh-huh.
So, but he has normal human hands. So they thought, well, Beerus believed that you can only do scissors, so he's gonna do rock, so do paper. But Lord Beerus, since he has big ears, he heard that and he changed the strategy. So yeah, he's there.
Yeah, I think they also have a joke with him and I can't think of the old guy's name for some Master Roshi.
Yeah, Master Roshi.
Because they're both perverts, and I'm pretty sure there's some perverted jokes there.
Yeah.
He wasn't in Resurrection F. Neither was Puar, Yamcha, or Chaozu, but they did reference those. Tien did reference Yamcha and Chaozu and say that he left them behind. Pretty much, they just it's kind of messed up in my opinion. But he said essentially, Yamcha and Chaozu are too damn weak for this, and this is serious as shit. So I'm not even going to tell them about this because they asked where they were, and that's really messed up because actually I really liked Yamcha in Dragon Ball. He was one of my favorite characters, and they bitchified him so much. Him and Gohan. God.
Yeah.
Gohan. I didn't even talk about him.
Yeah, that's another part that. Before we go to Gohan, I think that Master Roshi fighting, that was pretty cool.
Yes, I will agree. And there were some people that kind of complained about the fact that it was kind of unrealistic, but I would like to argue that we don't know how strong those Frieza.
Unrealistic?
Yeah, they were saying that.
It's a cartoon where they turn into monkeys.
It's not cartoon. It's an anime.
Yeah,
anime.
Their argument was that Master Roshi wasn't that strong, but we don't know how strong those people they were fighting were in the first place. So I think that's a very invalid argument.
Yeah.
But I also, on top of that, I don't give a damn. It looked badass. I mean, this isn't like pretty much fuck logic. Who cares? It's a really awesome anime that has great fighting scenes. That's what it's there for. So I get their point, but I really don't care. Master Roshi got buff.
But again, I don't agree with that because also, we know that Master Roshi could at some point, be one-on-one against Goku, and Tenshin Han as well, the same level, roundish, right? So, yeah, these guys anyways were really weak as they were, and actually on the movie you could see that Master Roshi, he was getting beaten at the end.
Yeah.
So I think make perfect sense. I don't agree people saying that he was not as strong or that he would have not be able to do anything. I think he did enough, but he wasn't overpowered either more than he would normally be. I don't think. Again, and he at the end he was actually beaten down.
Yeah. And I think the more important thing is that realistically, if we're going to go by that logic, he wouldn't just stand there and do nothing. He would fight. That's what he would do. But he did wind up getting saved by Gohan at the end, and you can pretty much see that Gohan wasn't really. He kind of got beat at the end, but he didn't really break a sweat for the most part, to be honest. And he didn't even go Super Saiyan Mystic or whatever it was that he does. I don't think he needs the earrings to do that, does he?
No, he could do it of course, without them. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't think he even saw the full potential of Gohan. I think
it's because he was actually he dropped levels than when he was last from Dragon Ball Z. So I think he's not as strong as he used to. Not even from Battle of the Gods.
Yeah, he did say that he was kind of rusty.
Well, he said that he's not trained at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he said he didn't train since whenever.
Yeah.
Pretty much Saiyaman Saga probably, but I kind of liked his outfit. I want to say that real quick. His outfit looked really cool. Yeah, it looked like a yellow tracksuit, like the Bruce Lee tracksuit.
Yeah, well, I think it was red though.
No, his was green and white.
Oh yeah, green and white. Yeah, you're right. Green and white. Yeah.
I thought that looked really cool. I like his new look. I really hope that in the TV show something happens to where he has to train and get strong again, because he was one of my favorite characters. He was cool. He was essentially the relatable Saiyan because of his age. He was a little younger, and now he pretty much is about the same age as me still. He's in his 20s. He's married now. He's a little older, but I think he still has the opportunity to get strong again. I don't know, because Goku is so far beyond everybody else besides Vegeta. But it would be really cool to see him come back. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I think that's wishful thinking.
The way they portray him and the way this is going, I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Yeah. It would be nice, but I don't think so.
Especially since he's gonna be a father, right? With Pan, or that could be a whole reason why he would train to protect his future daughter.
Right. That's going to be very interesting to see, because Pan's not even born yet. Goten and Trunks are still really young, so I don't know how far they're going to go with this series.
Yeah, but I think from what I understand, she will be part of it. I know that it was part of Dragon Ball GT, but that's one of the things that they're going to be canon. Pan is going to be the daughter of Gohan and what's the name of her? Beerel, yeah. Yeah.
That'll be very interesting to see. There's a lot of cool characters, like Android. Is it 18 or 17?
It's 18.
18, and then her daughter Marin, which I don't quite understand that whole thing. But Krillin cuts his hair off and everything in the movie, which I thought was really, really awesome. Back to old school Krillin.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool to see him as a cop, actually.
Yeah. So in the movie, in Resurrection F, he actually plays a cop, and you get to see him beat the crap out of some runaway robbers, bank robbers, or whatever they were. Yeah. I thought that was really awesome. I thought that was a good use of his power. He was.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that really irritated me, is that all these people are really strong, but they live very average lives, and that just bothered me as a kid. it made no sense. Like, why would you do that? Like, I hated Chi-Chi for the longest time because I thought she was the biggest bitch ever. You have two of the strongest beings on planet Earth, if not the two strongest. At one point, the strongest beings in your household, and you want him to go to school. I mean, I understand the education thing, but he could provide for the house just by being like super strong. You know, he could go and fight tournaments and win all of those. He could do so many different things. He could save the Earth, which is far more important, I think, in my opinion. Like, you're saving the entire planet, and I'm sure you could learn if you wanted to along the way rather than just going to some school.
Whoa. Are we talking about him in high school, elementary? I mean, if we talking about college, that's understandable, but I'm sure in the later season of Dragon Ball Z, there's laws put in place saying kids have to go to school.
Well, you have to be educated in some sense, but it doesn't have to be a public school. Yeah. But that's. I mean, this is anime we're talking about here. Before I go off on a tangent.
Yeah, but you gotta put some reality aspects into this show. We don't want kids to get the idea to say, "Hey, let's drop out and become great fighters."
You know what? I can't even argue.
Yeah, kids, if you are listening, drop out and become great fighters.
Become Super Saiyan.
Yes. You can do it, kids. You can do it.
We believe in you.
Yeah.
You've got the power of hope behind you, guys.
You are not Saiyans, kids. Don't do it.
Yeah. So that's pretty much everything that I want to talk about. Were there anything that you think I missed that you wanted to really talk about, Antonio?
No, I think we cover everything. At the end of the day, I think Dragon Ball Super. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% there yet with the series, but it's only 4 episodes. But so far, I'm liking what I've seen. And the movie, I think Battle of the Ghosts was better, but it was a fun movie overall.
Yeah.
You know, other than the things we talked about.
Yeah, and so in your opinion, would you say that this is a theater movie or is this a DVD movie?
I think that's the thing. I don't think any of the Dragon Ball movies are actually theater movies, to be honest. But if you're a Dragon Ball fan, of course it is a theater movie.
Yeah.
Right?
And sadly, though, for most people, it's going to end on the 12th. Right now, it's the 11th we're recording, and it probably in most places it won't be available anymore, which is sad. It's very limited. But
yeah, well, from what I heard, I was looking at some of the. Actually, Dragon Ball Z, this movie made I think more money than Howl's Moving Castle, and they were talking a lot about that the movie's making a lot of money actually, especially since it was a limited release in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
It made $4 million in the first weekend, and so far I think. But you know what's funny though? Here in Mexico, it actually made more money than in the U.S., which is weird. Well, the thing is that here in Mexico that series is very, very, very popular. It made $24 million here in Mexico.
There's a question: how's the audio over there?
Pretty cool, actually.
The last time I was in Mexico, Dragon Ball Z was in terrible quality.
Might have been a bootleg or something.
No, it was on cable, and the sound was awful, like low quality.
Well, you gotta remember that the series itself came out several years before in the U.S., and it was during the 80s, I believe. So it would make sense that the audio would have been as much great quality. But not only, but the part though, the good part is that in the Mexican version, it was the uncensored version, the actual version from Japan, the same one.
Okay. And
also all the attacks and the names and everything were in Japanese. The Japanese names, right? All the attacks were the original Japanese name attacks. So it was pretty cool to hear it like that. Once I heard the first U.S. version, first of all, it was censored as hell. I'm not sure I like that. When I saw that, it was like, okay, I don't want to see this. And when you hear also that they translated in a way the attacks, I think, I don't know. I wasn't keen to hearing them in English versus in the Japanese original. So that was the difference. yes, the quality of the audio, I don't think it was very, high quality. But again, you gotta remember it was done in the 80s, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very true. Yeah, I definitely think this movie, if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, check it out. I did enjoy it despite all the things I really picked apart. That's just the nerd in me talking about it, but I really think that it had a lot of redeeming qualities. It was very funny. The action was very well done. I don't want to talk too badly about it because it was very well done, and I'm glad I got the chance to watch it. I personally would say it is more of a DVD thing. I would recommend, if you have a big screen TV, get all your nerd friends together and sit down and watch this movie and enjoy it. I think it's a movie that shouldn't be enjoyed alone. I definitely think it's one of those. It's going to be hyper the more friends you have around that love Dragon Ball Z. Yes. I think that's the way this movie was supposed to be enjoyed. So yes. I would recommend doing that. I don't know when it goes out on DVD or whatever, but you can probably find the subtitle. I watched the Japanese version, so you can probably find that somewhere online. Don't know where, but you can probably find it. It's really, really good. It's a great movie. I liked it. Could have been better, but definitely worth watching in my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
I'd like to thank all the guests that joined for this podcast. It was a very, very fun one. I want to thank Gokado, aka Antonio, for his input on the show. Definitely, again, check out his review. It is in the show notes. I also want to thank Jared and Tyler, the Video Game Hunter, for joining as well. And then there's actually a second part to this podcast. It was very long, about 2 hours long, so I went ahead and cut it in half. The other one is we talk about Fandom Fest, which is what Tyler, the Video Game Hunter, went to. So we have a whole hour special on that one as well. And I will have that link up very soon. So you guys definitely check out that one if you want to know about Fandom Fest, all the things that happened with Tyler, his interactions with some of the people, and just some advice on if you plan on going to future conventions. A lot of good input in there. So definitely check out that podcast. Look forward for that. And I will see you guys in the next one.